Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be presenting 15 of my favourite skin concepts I've seen in the last few years on Reddit. All the original posts and artists will be linked in the description and full credit goes to them. This is just a showcase of my favourite ones of their designs. But without further ado, and in no particular order, let's jump in with number 15. So first up we have Yarmond Hander, which is not only an amazing play on words, but also an amazing idea for a skin. This concept comes complete with ability designs too, such as the ultimate being a fist that punches down onto enemies, and Yarm's 2 being a loud snap of the fingers instead of a roar. This would be the perfect troll skin for Yarm mains out there, even better than Cat Yarm and Goose Yarm in my personal opinion. Really well done skin. Sticking with the theme of troll skins, next up we have one that has pretty much zero chance of ever making it into the game, but is hilarious nonetheless, and that's Danza Bezos. Another great pun and cool skin design. His gun being an Amazon box that fires packing peanuts at his enemies is just freaking hilarious, and his ult being a Bezos style highly suggestive rocket, just amazing. Plus the whole money theme in general with Danza and Bezos makes for a perfectly cohesive skin. Getting to see our Prime Overlord in Smite would be epic, but sadly I doubt this one will ever happen. We can dream. Switching over to a more serious concept at number 13, we have Eyes of the All-Father Agni, which is just an incredible Pantheon crossover skin that paints Agni as a Norse crow god. Complete with the double crow head, avian feet, feathers, and of course Norse runes. This is a simple idea executed amazingly well, and the whole idea of Pantheon crossover skins is highly unexplored in Smite in my opinion. The game is about gods from dozens of pantheons that don't normally interact in the lore fighting out on the battleground, and nothing embodies that more than skins like this one. Sticking with that theme for a moment, at number 12 we have Dame Chevalier Hel, which is a Norse-Arthurian crossover that actually makes me want to play Hel, which is a feat in itself. Looking straight out of King Arthur's court, this skin is just glorious. The armour on both stances looks epic, and the Arthurian banners really add to the theme of the skin, rather than it just being a standard armoured knight skin. Short of adding more Arthurian gods, skins like this one are my favourite things Smite could do, a Pantheon crossover with two of my favourite Pantheons of all time. Continuing the British themes, at number 11 we have Afternoon Tea Baba Yaga, which as a Brit myself is just absolutely hilarious. Replacing Baba's cauldron with a teacup bearing the Great Union Jack and her staff with a golden teaspoon. Of course, the best part of the skin in my opinion is her cabin being replaced by the Big Ben, or at least part of it. Baba has so much potential for cool skins because of her props like the cauldron and the house, and this one utilises them perfectly. Coming directly from a Brit, hi-res, if you want to do anything to honour the memory of Queen Elizabeth, do this please. Next up we have Burning Soul Yamoja, which I think has some of the best potential for ability effects I've ever seen. The skin itself looks amazing with a somewhat Egyptian vibe mixed with a little bit of voodoo. But as I said, these ability effects could be seriously cool in game with flaming walls of souls for her ultimate and a rift as her 3. Her 1 could have little souls flying off it each time it bounces off the ground. I'm really surprised we don't have a fire-based Yamoja skin yet, given the potential for epic firewalls using her ultimate, but this one comes pretty close to that and has tons of other cool effects and design choices mixed in. If you've been following the chess drama recently, I'm sure chess tier could resolve that conflict pretty excellently while looking insanely swag to boot. The armour on this skin looks absolutely incredible, with the knights built into his gauntlet, girdle, helmet and the hilt of his sword, plus it's just the most beefy armour set I've ever seen. I mean, look at that shoulder plate and helmet, ain't nothing getting through that, which I guess is fitting for tier in game. Plus, who could ignore the amazing ult animation the artist has planned out for this one with a spectral chess knight appearing underneath tier as he ults. Goosebumps, honestly. At number 8 we have a skin that will be right at home with Malworm Yarmond Hander, and that's Blue Screen Apwash. This one is just so well done it's insane, and I can absolutely see this one making it into the game at some point. The exposed wiring and super early cream box PC design really takes me back, and the T-posing nerd corpses is so thematic for the idea of the skin. Plus the ult being just a flood of error messages and literal cyber bugs feels like it would work so well in game. Of all the skins on the list, I think this one is the most fitting to actually make it as a skin, and they could even throw it in a chest with Malworm and a few others like hi-res love to do. Regardless, I'd be happy to see this one make it in game. We've had a lot of serious skins in a row, so how about Karen Nike for number 7? Swinging her oversized glass of wine around and probably asking for the manager whenever she jumps into the fight, this one is just hilarious. I can imagine Rend being her drunkenly swiping with the wine glass and spilling it everywhere, and her barrier being something like argument denied as she pushes you back while shouting for your superior so she can get you fired. Truly a hilarious skin. Make it happen, hi-res. Enslimed Cocoon is up next with a rage form that looks like something straight out of Dragon Quest, and I love it. With a classic fantasy elf style main skin with just a hint of what he'll become on transformation, and then the rage mode skin being him literally consumed in true slime form, and even his weapon is just in there chilling. I can imagine the Rage Mode damage aura being the slime monster sort of pulsating and releasing an aura of slime as it does. This one has a lot of potential for cool ability effects in the Rage Mode form. Cocoon in general has lots of potential for cool skins, given it's basically 2 skins in 1 with this guy, and this concept does that idea justice. At number 5, I have a skin for my boy Kuzenball Ice Emperor. Turns him into a terrifying penguin with cute little mini penguins for his Nene Kappas. An ice theme is something that I think fits really well for Kuzenball, and you could have his 2 be sharp icicles protruding from his back for the duration, and his ult be a snowstorm that spins around him and maybe even throws off icicles as it hits enemies. The small penguins could even slip along the ice as they careen towards their enemies. This skin has so much potential and definitely needs to be in the game. Get on it, Hi-Rez. If anyone was around back when I did my original skin concepts video like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, you might remember XX Edgelord XX Susano. Well, this skin is in a similar theme, and that's Basement Dweller Kumbhakana. There's not much to this skin, but there doesn't really need to be. A plain t-shirt and a Tiamat body pillow to smack his enemies with is all he needs. You might think a pillow wouldn't do too much damage, but that shit is probably rock solid at this point if you catch my drift, and would hit like a truck. Probably not a skin that would make it into the game, but it would be hilarious if it did. Sylvanas has tons of potential for amazing skins, and this next one really utilises that. The Princess and the Frogger features Grover as a hugely oversized frog, and Sylvanas himself as a princess riding on the back as he pulls his enemies in using his tongue instead of a branchy arm like usual. That's thematic as hell, and I love it. His 1 and ult creating mini ponds with lily pads is really cool too, and even his basics being the princess throwing globs of mud at her enemies from the back of a giant frog just has to be made into an actual skin in my opinion. The second to last skin I have for you in this video is Hive Cthulhu, which if you have a phobia of bees might not be the skin for you. This turns the eldritch monster into a hive mind with the head of a beehive, and what I can only imagine is a swarm of bees that would fly around you if you're under his madness effect. The 2 being beehives falling from the sky and leaving a giant pool of honey would look so sick in game in my opinion. And seeing someone ult in this skin will be genuinely terrifying. This is another one that I think has a pretty high likelihood of eventually making it into the game. It's just such a solid concept. And finally, we have one that probably won't make it into the game in its current form, but is epic nonetheless, and that's Apophis Geb. Taking everyone's favourite boss from Clash and now Slash, and fusing him into stone and Egyptian-style pyramids, this skin is menacing as hell. Unfortunately, I don't think bosses as skins will ever really be a thing, but something similar to this with a different mythological beast would definitely be a cool skin to have in game for Geb. But that's all I've got for my 15 favourite skin concepts of the last few years on Reddit. As I mentioned at the start of the video, all the links to the original posts will be in the description below if you want to take a closer look at them. Let me know if you want me to cover skin concepts more often. It's been years since I did my original video, and there's always no shortage of concepts I see on the Smite Reddit that are just amazingly well done. But that's it from me. Catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.